We are so excited to be here tonight in the Richard Homewood Gym here at Osage City High School. Tonight you are watching the Osage City Indians face off against the Central Heights Vikings. As always, I'm Ellie Shoemaker. I'm up here in the box with
Hi, I'm Allison Neary.
Wonderful. And we're going to be commentating tonight. So we've got two great teams facing off here at the girls' game to start our night off with. The current Indians girls record is 3-2, and they will be facing off against the Vikings Central Heights girls, and their current record is 1-5. So this should be an awesome game to get back off of the winter break. We hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, but we're super happy to be back here, and we can't wait to see this game start. So introductions should begin momentarily. Thank you for joining us. We got tip-off here. Stark tips it off to number 2, Emery Spies. She goes up. Her shot is just iron, does not go in. And number 32, Erica Haynes gets the rebound. Up at the top, number 4, Creaky passes it off. Attempts to pass it off to her teammate, number 5, Sydney Evans. It does go out of bounds. So now we've got number 5 for the Indians, Crawford, inbounding it to their point guard, number 2, Spies. All right, we've got number 5, Evans, inbounding it for the Vikings. She passes it off to 4, Creaky. She passes it up the court to number 14, Brockus.
Who? Oh, the refs? Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're refs. You think they're happy with the life? They get yelled at every time we go.
Nothing's happening.
And number 5, Crawford gets the rebound. She dribbles it up to the top to 40, Kitzelman. She shoots, she scores. That's a 3, and that'll start the Indians off. Got number 5, Evans. Brings number 4 at the top, Jaden Creaky, passes it off to 5, Evans, who passes it over to number 13, Christian. She's out at the 3, she dribbles in, back out. She attempts to get it underneath to her teammate Brockus. It is swatted away. Number 5, Sydney Evans passes it off to 32, Haynes. Back up to Evans. Haynes takes the shot and it bounces off the front of the iron. Number 14, Bailey Brockus gets the rebound, but I believe she tripped and fell and did lose that ball. Number 2, Emery Spies for the Indians, brings it up the court and passes it off to Shoemaker. Passes it back up to Spies. Over to Crawford in the middle. Goes down to Stark. Stark goes up. The shot is successful. Number 4, Creaky, guarded by Spies, passes it inside to number 14, Brockus. Brockus passes it back in to 13, Christian. She passes it off to 5, Evans. Evans dribbles in. Back over to 13, Christian. Stands outside of the rebound line. Over to number 4, Creaky. Creaky stands at the top. Spies bats the ball away. They're going to call that an offensive foul. Number 33, Boss for the Indians, is going to sub in for number 40, Kitzelman. Number 4, Creaky inbounds the ball, passes it off, but Spies steals that throw. Ball almost goes out by the Indians. It's attempted to be thrown back into bounds by both Shoemaker and Boss, but they just throw it a little bit too far, and the Vikings recover it. Now we've got number 13, Christian, at the top, dribbling the ball. She passes it off to 4, Creaky, who dribbles it inside, passes it off to number 5, Evans. Evans goes to shoot, and she's called for travel.
Just earlier, Spies got a foul, the first foul of the night for the Osage City Indians.
Spies passes it up to Shoemaker on the wing, passes it up to Boss, and over to Spies. Shoemaker recovers the ball. Spies dribbles over, up to Boss. Boss takes the shot. She is unsuccessful. And number 32, Erica Haynes recovers, dribbles up, goes to shoot, and she is fouled. Foul is called on 33, Boss.
That's going to be her first foul of the night as well.
Number 32, Erica Haynes at the free throw line here. She makes a shot, and it's good. Substitution for the Indians here. We have number 12, the other Kitzelman, Julia, back in the game for the first time. Spiess dribbles up, passes it off to Boss, Boss to Stark, and then up to Kitzelman, over to Shoemaker, back to Shoemaker. Shoemaker drives in for a little ways and passes it off to Boss, passes it inside to Julia. Kitzelman, Spiess takes a shot, she misses everything. Stark goes up and does take that layup, and that's going to put the Indians ahead. Number 5, Evans inbounds it for Creaky. Creaky brings it up the court, loses the ball, but they do call it out on Spiess, so the Vikings will still have the ball. Number 4, Creaky inbounds it too. Number 14, Brockus. Number 5, Evans goes up. They called that foul on number 12, Kitzelman. I will say this is a lot of offensive fouls.
I'd say so.
We normally don't. Shoemaker subs out. Number 5, Evans puts the ball up, and she goes, and that is a successful free throw. Kitzelman with the ball, pushes it in. Looks like there's a little bit of confusion on the call here. Jump ball. And it'll be the Vikings' possession. Ball's knocked out of bounds. It's by Boss. Still Vikings ball. Number 5, Evans inbounds it. Number 40, Kitzelman inbounds it to Spiess. Boss stands up at the top of the key, passes it off to Kitzelman, who attempts to pass it down to Stark. It's a little high, so it goes out of bounds. It'll be the Vikings ball. Number 4, Creaky's going to bring it up the court. Kitzelman attempts to smack that ball away, but it is recovered by Chris John, who's going to drive it in. She loses control of the ball, and it'll be the Indians' ball. We've got Crawford for the Indians subbing in for Stark. And then Pitts in for Spiess. Number 12, Kitzelman passes it into Pitts. Pitts drives it up the court and passes it off to the other Kitzelman. She takes the 3, no good. And the ball is knocked out of bounds.
It's going to be the Vikings ball. So far, the Indians are leading in fouls with 3-0.
Yeah. Number 4, Creaky. Passes it off to number 14, Baracus, who passes it down to Chris John, number 13 in the corner. Her attempt to pass it into Haynes at the post is unsuccessful. The attempt to look up the court to Boss for the Indians, also knocked out of bounds by the Vikings. However, it'll be the Indians' ball. Julia Kitzelman up to her sister, Georgia. It goes down to Peyton. Hits. She takes a shot again. It's unsuccessful. Crawford attempts to rebound that ball before it goes out, but I believe she stepped on the line. So, number 5, Evans passes it in to Chris John. Chris John walks, dribbles it up the court. Who passes it down to 32, Haynes. Haynes passes it up to Baracus. Haynes attempts to go up. Her shot is blocked. Kitzelman attempts to pass the ball back in. She's successful, and it'll be the Indians' ball. Number 12, Kitzelman is subbed out. Crawford passes it into Pitts. Pitts passes it over to Boss. Boss passes it down to Stark. And Pitts attempts to pass it over to Boss. It's stolen away by Chris John. She goes on a breakaway. Goes up for the layup, but she's fouled by Pitts. That's Pitts' first foul, I believe. And that'll be an Indian timeout.
That is Pitts' first foul of the night. We've got very enthusiastic fans here in this court tonight. I'm very happy to hear that.
Yes. Very enthusiastic fans.
Sometimes with the girls' games, you just don't get as enthusiastic fans. Most people sit there and watch.
I think normally during the girls' game, there's not that really big student section. But we do have a really big student section today, it's awesome to see every time.
It really is. Glad that everybody's come out tonight.
All right, we got number 13, Chris John. Melanie Chris John going to be shooting free throws here for the Vikings. First one bounces off the back of the iron, no good. However, second one does go in the net. Crawford inbounds to Pitts. Pitts to Kitzelman. Kitzelman back up to Pitts. And reverse. Pitts attempts to go into Crawford, but no good. The ball is knocked away. Kitzelman into Stark. Stark goes up twice. Her shots are both no good. Ball is recovered by Baracus and passed up to the court to Melanie Chris John at the top. Chris John to Creaky. And Creaky Chris John again. Shot again. Bounces off the iron. Pitts passes it up to Boss. Boss into Crawford. Crawford over to Kitzelman. Kitzelman back up to Pitts. Pitts to Boss. Boss to Crawford. Crawford dribbles over. And she passes it back to Kitzelman. They're just working to find that open window. Pitts to Crawford. Crawford to Kitzelman. Kitzelman takes the 3. It's no good. And that is the end of the first quarter.
Osage City is still leading in fouls, now with 4 fouls, whilst Central Heights has none.
Yeah, this definitely, I mean, every game is different, but this is definitely a very interesting game. It's a really low score, but yeah.
Right now for the Indians, Stark is leading with 4 points scored, and Kitzelman scored the first 3-pointer of the night. For Vikings, number 5, Evans, has the most points with 3 points scored total.
All right, let's get back to the second quarter of this game. Kitzelman inbounds to Spiess. Spiess down to Shoemaker, who took that back door. Shot was no good, so she passes it back to Kitzelman. She goes down to Shoemaker. Kitzelman takes the shot from the top of the 3. And Crawford gets the rebound and is fouled. Yep, she is fouled.
That's Evans' first foul of the night. It's also the Vikings' first foul.
Back up to the top to Shoemaker, who passes it down to Spiess. Spiess takes the shot, no good. Stark goes up, and this one is good. And I believe she drew the foul as well, so that'll put her at the line. Called the foul on 14, Bailey Brockus. Stark's attempt at a free throw is no good. Number 4, Creaky, gets the rebound. She passes it up to Christian, and Christian takes it from there. She passes it over to number 5, Evans. Evans shot, no good. Spiess passes it up over to Shoemaker. Shoemaker over Crawford, and Crawford reverses that. Crawford throws it down to Spiess. Spiess over to Shoemaker. Shoemaker takes the 3. And Christian recovers it. She loses it, but number 4, Creaky, recovers. And 32, Haynes at the top here, takes it in. Goes in for the layup and is fouled by number 12, Kitzelman.
It's Kitzelman's second foul of the night.
Number 32, Haynes, goes up for her first free throw, and she's unsuccessful. Haynes' second free throw bounces off the iron and is recovered by Stark. Stark passes it up to Shoemaker, and then they get the ball rolling on their offense. Shoemaker dribbles in. Sadie goes up. No good. Number 13, Christian, dribbles up the ball.
And the Vikings are going to call a timeout here. So far, I'd say this has been a pretty good night.
Yeah, we've had a great game so far. Yeah.
Currently for the Indians, Stark is leading with 6 points scored.
And that's really interesting, actually, because the Indians have shot a lot of threes, but I believe Stark has Stark made any threes yet?
Nope.
No, it's all been on twos, which is very interesting. So maybe we need to see the Indians kind of take a step closer to the basket and start shooting those for a little while before they start backing out to the three-point line again. Christian at the top of the key here. She passes it over to number 4, Creaky. Creaky back up to Brockus, who flashed to the top, who returns it to Creaky. Creaky dribbles in, out to Christian. And her shot is unsuccessful. Crawford to inbound the ball for the Indians. Foul was called on number 5 for the Vikings. That'll be Evans. All right, the Vikings with the first sub of the night. Their first sub of the night. They're putting in Macy Cubitt. Crawford inbounds the ball to Spiess. Spiess over to Shoemaker. Shoemaker over to Crawford. Crawford over to Spiess. She reverses that. Over to Shoemaker. Shoemaker to Crawford. Crawford to Shoemaker attempts to send it inside to Julia Kitzelman. She's no good. Number 4, Creaky dribbles all the way underneath the basket, passes it back out to Stark, passes it, attempts to throw it back in. The Indians sub in Shoemaker, sub out Shoemaker and sub back in Boss. They call an official's timeout.
I believe so.
Okay.
That student section just keeps growing once again.
Sure does. All right, we're back here. The Vikings inbound the ball to number 13, Christian. It's taken away by Spiess. Spiess dribbles it up the court. She passes it across to Boss. Boss over to Crawford. Crawford goes up. And that shot is good. Number 4, Creaky brings the ball up the court. She passes it up to number 14, Brockus. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. The Indians have a sub here. We've got
Number 40, Kitzelman, coming in for Stark. Kitzelman passes it into Spies. Spies dribbles it up the court. Spies to Kitzelman. Kitzelman to Boss, and Boss over to Spies. Boss back to Kitzelman. Kitzelman passes it back out to Spies. Spies shoots, hits the iron. She's no good. Number 13, Christian brings the ball up the court. She shoots the ball. Does not. It does not go in. So Spies dribbles the ball all the way up the court. Attempts to shoot it. She misses. Number 22, Macy Cubitt recovers, gets the rebound, passes it off to number 4, Creaky. Creaky passes it over to Christian. And Christian passes it over to number 4, Creaky again. She's fouled. They're going to call that foul on Crawford. That's Crawford's first foul of tonight. Indians now have 6 fouls, while Central Heights have 3. For the Vikings, number 11, Roulette is coming out, and Erica Haynes is back in. The Vikings shoot. They're unsuccessful. Number 40, Kitzelman, makes the rebound. Spies takes a shot. She misses. Spies over to Kitzelman. And Cubitt knocks the ball away for the Vikings. They get in a little tie up there. Jump ball. I'm sorry. Not a jump ball. It'll be a foul on Kitzelman. We got Lane coming in here for Boss. That was her first foul of the night. This puts Melanie Christian at the line. And her shot, her free throw is good. Both free throws are good. Spies passes the ball up to Kitzelman. Kitzelman back over to Spies. Spies to Lane. And Lane back over to Spies. And to Kitzelman. She attempts to throw the ball to Crawford, but 22 Macy Cubitt takes it up the court. Ball is rebounded by, not rebounded, ball is stolen by number 12 Kitzelman. She passes it off to Spies. Spies passes it up to the top to the Kitzelman. She shoots another 3 that does not go in. Number 22, Cubitt, passes it up to Creaky. Creaky goes all the way in. And they're going to call a foul on Erica Haynes for the Vikings, and it'll be the Indians' ball. Number 33, Boss, comes in. She passes it off to Spies. Spies dribbles it up the court. Passes it up to Lane. Lane goes into Crawford. Crawford goes over to Kitzelman. Kitzelman over to Spies, and Spies over to Lane. Spies dribbles in. She makes a shot from the inside of the key, which further supports my point that the Indians, I think, tonight need to step inside a little bit more and start making more of those shots before they come out. Number 4, Creaky pushes the ball up the court. Boss steals it away and passes it over to Spies. Spies passes it to Kitzelman. Kitzelman attempts to go up, but her shot is blocked. It's recovered by Spies. Spies makes a shot from the key. That'll be Spies' first three-pointer of the night, finally. Ten-point difference between Osage and Central Heights, with Osage in the lead. And just over a minute and a half here left in the second quarter. So far, Osage has 7 fouls, while Central Heights only has 4. No one really has been having a problem tonight. The fouls are pretty spread out throughout the sheet. All right, we're back. Number 22, Macy Cubitt inbounds the ball to number 14, Bailey Baracus. She passes it up to number 4, Creaky, who passes it down to Haynes, who's wide open to make that shot from the block. Spies passes it over to Kitzelman. Kitzelman passes it over to Boss. Boss goes up, misses the shot. They pass it over to Chris John for the Vikings, and she brings the ball up the court. She loses her dribble. Crawford to inbound the ball for Spies. Spies passes it up the court. Spies takes another shot. She makes another one. Creaky brings the ball up the court for the Vikings. She passes it off to Chris John. Number 22, Cubitt shoots the ball. She misses everything. Call an offensive foul on 33, Boss. That's just her second foul of the night. All right. So we're gonna put number 4 here at the line, Creaky. She missed her free throw. Number 32, Haynes. Passes the ball out of bounds. And number 1, Shoemaker subs back in for number 40, Kitzelman. Just 30 seconds left in the first half of the game. Shoemaker brings the ball up the court now. Passes it over to Spies. Spies back to Shoemaker. Shoemaker to Pitts. Pitts to Shoemaker. She's got 10 seconds here. She passes it to the post flash, Boss. Boss passes it to Spies. Spies dribbles in, attempts to go to Crawford. Crawford goes up, and her block shot is no good. And that is the first half. Currently, Osage is leading in fouls with 8. Once again, no one's really having a problem. And Central Heights has 4. All right. So we will be back here in just a moment.
All right, everyone, and we are back. Just about ready to start the girls' game. The second half of the girls' game, anyways. We do have a whole half played. The Indians are leading by 8. Do you have any stats for us, Allie?
Well, so far, the top scorer for Osage is still Stark with 6 points. And Chris John with 4 for the Vikings. Fouls are spread out. No one's really having a huge problem here.
All right, the Vikings inbound the ball. Start off, we got Chris John at the top of the key. She passes it over to number 14, Baracus. Number 4, Creaky passes it down to number 32, Haynes. Haynes up to 13. Chris John keeps it. She passes it over to number 4, Creaky. Creaky passes it into 5. Evans, and they are going to call that on Crawford for over the back.
That's Crawford's second foul of the entire night.
Chris John passes it down to Baracus. Baracus, it's stolen by Kitzelman. Kitzelman passes it over to Spies. Spies to Crawford. Crawford's shot is blocked by Haynes. Chris John brings the ball up the court. Baracus passes it into Shoemaker. Shoemaker brings the ball up. She passes it down to Spies. Spies passes it up to the top of the key, passes it over to Kitzelman. Kitzelman over to Spies. Once again, she reverses it. Kitzelman to Spies. Vikings inbounded the ball. Number 4, Creaky. Pass it over to Evans. Evans to Creaky. Creaky goes up. Stark blocks that shot. Stark blocks Kitzelman. I'm going to call the foul on Erica Haynes. Kitzelman first free throw is successful. As is her second free throw. 5 Sydney. Evans passes the ball in to Jaden Creaky. Creaky drives it in and passes it out to Chris John. Chris John passes it back out to 4. Creaky up to Baracus. And then Creaky over to Chris John. Baracus passes it over to Evans. Number 14, Baracus inbounds the ball to Chris John. It is knocked out of bounds by the Vikings. Oh, I'm sorry, it's knocked out of bounds by the Indians. So number 14, Baracus inbounds it to number 13, Chris John. Chris John
loses control of the ball. Kitzelman takes it up the court. Their shot's no good. Creaky gets the steal, and as she's going up the court, she's fouled by Kitzelman. Creaky passes it to Chris John. Chris John passes it to Creaky. Creaky attempts to pass it over, but it's stolen, knocked out of the way by Shoemaker. She passes it up to Spiess, and Spiess is successful in making the layup. Chris John passes it inside to number 32, Haynes. Called another offensive foul on the Indians here. Number 1, Shoemaker. Number 32, Haynes gets the inbound and attempts to pass it down to Bailey Brockus, but it's stolen away by the Indians. Shoemaker goes up for a 3. She's successful. Number 22, Kobit brings it up the court. Number 32, Haynes, that's her 3rd foul, so she's going to be coming out. Number 15, Stark, takes her a couple tries, but she got it to go in, and that's all that matters. Number 5, Evans brings the ball up the court for the Vikings. The Indians now in the lead by 20. So the Vikings call a timeout. This has been a pretty good game for the Indians so far. It has. They've definitely started to pull away a lot more in the second half. Seems a lot of the times during the second half, either both or one of the teams just gets super fired up. Yes. Yes, they do. A lot of locker room. It must have something to do with the locker room speech. This is just a reminder, but we will be back here. The Indians will be playing once again at home on Friday against the Council Grove Braves, and we will be back. So make sure you tune into that game, because we love it when you guys listen, and we want to say thank you, because we really appreciate it. So let's get back here. Number 14 passes the ball into number 13 for the Vikings. Spiess passes it away, or knocks it away from Chris John, but Chris John recovers and passes it over to 22, Kobit. Cubit. I apologize. She passes it over to Chris John, Melanie Chris John, number 13 at the top. He passes it down to Sydney Evans, number 5. They're going to call another foul. On number 11. This could be Abby Roulette. Yes. Indians with a whole new string of girls in. Kitzelman passes it up to Pitts. Pitts drives the ball up the court. And passes it over to number 14, Watson. Back over to Lane. And Lane to Boss, and then Pitts once again. Watson. And down to Boss. Pitts passes it to Lane. Lane takes the shot, and it's good. Number 22, Cubitt, brings the ball up the court, passes it over to Evans. Evans down to Roulette. Kitzelman takes the ball. Lane for another shot. Number 22, Cubitt, brings the ball back up. She passes it over to Christian. Christian driving it in. Back out to 14. Number 5, Evans, over to Cubitt. Cubitt goes underneath and takes a shot, and it is good. Pitts drives the ball up the court, passes it off to Watson, and then back over to Lane, who passes it down to Boss and up to Kitzelman. Pitts goes up, Watson. Watson. They're going to call a foul. The Indians ball underneath the basket. We've got a substitution here for the Vikings. Number 14, Baracus, comes out, and number 4, Creaky, is back in. Payton's inbounds the ball. Pitts inbounds the ball to Boss, who passed it up to Lane. Lane takes a shot. No good this time. Number 4, Creaky. Number 3, Pitts, knocks that shot away. She goes up for the rebound, the layup. It's no good. Boss attempts to get the rebound, and I believe they're going to call an over the back on that one. 3-3-3, that'll be Boss's third, right, Allie?
Yes, it is.
Number 4, Creaky, brings the ball up the court. We're going to call another foul on the Indians there, this time on
It's on Lane, and it's going to be her first foul of the night as well.
Watson knocks the ball out of bounds, so it'll be the Indians' ball. Creaky throws the ball over to Christian with just under a minute left here in the quarter. Cubitt. And they're going to call a travel there on the Indians. No, I'm sorry, on the Vikings. My bad. The Indians are inbounding underneath the basket. Peyton Pitts, number 3, is going to bring the ball up the court. She passes it over to Lane. Lane down to Boss. Boss inside to Kitzelman. And Kitzelman makes a layup. A block shot. Either way. We've got just under 30 here. Christian drives it in, gets stuck, passes it back out to 5, Evans. Evans loses the ball and passes it up, and Pitts gets it back, passes it to number 12, Kitzelman. Lane down to Watson, and Cubitt passes it in from like the front line of the volleyball court
and it very nearly goes in. So that would have been really cool, honestly, if it did.
Yeah. Would have had to celebrate that one. That would have been a shot to behold. Fouls compared to the last game we shot. Right now for Osage City, for the second half, we have 5 fouls. The top foul for Osage is Lexi Boss, number 33. And for the Vikings, top fouler is number 32, Haynes.
And on Boss, that's honestly kind of something you come to expect when you watch the Lady Indians. I mean, there's nothing against it, but she definitely does draw a lot of fouls. But that's because I think she's known for her defense. So, yeah, and that kind of comes with that.
Mm-hmm.
Kriege inbounds the ball to number 14, Brockus. Brockus dribbles down below, up the sideline, with the baseline, and she steps out of bounds. So it's going to be the Indians' ball. Number 5, Crawford, to inbound it to Spiess. Spiess brings the ball up the court. Spiess. Crawford at the top of the key with that post flash there, unsuccessful. So she passes it back off to Spiess. Now to Stark. Passes it off to Spiess again. Not really. Kitzman goes up to Spiess. Spiess goes in for the shot, no good. Shoemaker gets the rebound, passes it down below to Stark. Stark goes up. Her shot goes in the other direction of the goal. Basket. This is not football. Spiess takes a shot from the top of the key. She's good. That's her second or third 3?
That's her second 3 of the night.
Gotcha.
Doing pretty good.
Number 22, Cubitt, brings the ball up for the Vikings. The Indians now running zone, it looks like, maybe. No, they're not. Number 32, Haynes, attempts to shoot up the ball after she got the rebound, but they're going to call a foul on that, so that's going to put Haynes at the line. Foul's called on Stark.
That's her first foul of the night as well. Once again, lots of these fouls are spread out throughout the teams quite evenly.
Yes, they are. I would agree with you. Haynes' second shot is no good. Bounced off the front of the iron. It's the Indians' ball. Shoemaker at the top of the key with it, passes it down to Spiess. Spiess takes another 3. That's her third.
She's just on point. I guess earlier she just needed a bit of time to warm up.
Yeah, I think she just needed to get a couple shots in closer to the basket and then start taking those out ones. Number 5, Evans with the ball in the corner. Kitzman recovers the ball, passes it over to Spiess. Spiess shoots the ball.
Spiess is just on fire right now.
Number 22, Cubitt, takes the ball, shoots the ball from the top of the key, misses everything. Number 13, Chris Sean, will be subbing in for Cubitt for the Vikings. Kittelman down to Crawford. Crawford over to Spiess. Spiess up to Shoemaker. Shoemaker into Crawford. Crawford goes up, bounces off the front of the iron. Number 13, Chris John, passes it over to 4. Creaky over to 14. Brockus.
Brockus went up for the shot and just hit the side of the goal.
Number 2, Spiess, passes it up the court to Kitzelman. Kitzelman over to Shoemaker, and then down to Spiess. Spiess misses this 3.
It's the second time the ball's bounced into the student section.
I know. I'm sure they love all the attention.
Oh, absolutely.
Chris John at the top of the key for the Vikings. Over to Evans. Reverse. Back over to Creaky. And up to Brockus. Call another foul, so we're going 1-1.
That's Crawford's 3rd foul of the night. No one has fouled out yet, luckily.
Luckily.
Game's still going on strong.
The Vikings sub out number 14. Brockus for number 30. Hattie Quillette. Creaky's shot is good. Creaky's second shot is no good. It's recovered by Erica Haynes, though. Haynes goes up, and she is also fouled.
It's Lexi Boss's 4th foul of the night.
.32 Haynes. Second free throw is good. Pitts brings the ball up the court to Watson. Watson throws it back over to Lane and down to Boss in the corner there. Back down to Watson and over to Lane. Lane goes up. Her shot's no good. She passes it over to Christian. Christian passes it up to the top to Creaky. And Creaky passes it down to number 30, Quillette. And that is going to remove Lexi Boss from the game.
It's going to be our first foul out of the night. Sad to see her go.
Yeah, there's not much left.
Nope.
But yes, you're right. .32 Haynes puts the shot back up. She passes it over to Pitts. Pitts to Kitzelman. Pitts passes it over to Lane. Lane down to number 13, Boss's replacement, McKenna McFarland. Watson passes it over to Lane. Lane to Pitts. Back over to Watson. And back. Back over to McFarland. McFarland posts it back up to Watson. It honestly looks like the girls are stealing a move from the boys' book here and doing a little bit of one shot.
Having a hard time getting the ball in there.
Lane for another 3. You want to talk about somebody who's really showed up tonight. Lane for sure.
She's doing really well.
Yeah. Number 4, Creaky puts the ball up. It's no good. It's recovered by Pitts. And down to Kitzelman, over to Watson, and over to Lane. Lane passes it down to McFarland. McFarland attempts to pass it to Lane, but it's no good. It's passed to Quillette, but that's going to be the end of the game.
The Indians ended off with a score of 46, and the Vikings had 17. Our top scorers tonight for the Osage City Indians was Spiess with 15 points scored overall. And,
Wow.
I know, and Haynes with 7 points for the Vikings.
All in all, it was a good game.
Spiess got 3 3-pointers in that game. It was pretty.
Wow.
That was really nice.
That is good. That's a good record for her.
I'd have to agree.
All right. So, our next game here is going to be the Osage City boys facing off against the Central Heights Vikings. So, that game will begin momentarily, but we will see you then. All right, everyone, we are back with the boys' game here. Like I said, the Indians are going to be facing off against the Vikings. These two teams' records are, for the Osage City boys, they are 4-1, and the Central Heights Vikings are 1-5. So we should have a pretty good game here tonight, and we can't wait to get it started, especially since, like I said, both games coming off of Christmas break, ready to see how sports are going to come back after that break. But starters will begin momentarily, and we want to thank you all again for joining us. All right, and we are here about ready to start the jump ball off between Boss and Peel. Boss wins the jump over to Caden Kirkpatrick, who passes it down to Schaefer, back up to the top at Bowen, over to Parsons, who passes it all the way across the court to Bowen, into Boss, out to Parsons. Parsons drives it in, goes up, and the Indians make the first shot of the night. Number 11, Luke Berkdahl, brings the ball up the court. He passes it down to number 15, Nicholas Schultz. Schultz passes it back over to Berkdahl. Berkdahl passes it out to Peel. And Max Kennedy has it in the corner. Peel passes the ball in to number 44, Luke Brown, and his shot is good as well. Parsons brings the ball up the court, passes it over to Boss. Boss goes up for a three. It's no good. Recovered by Max Kennedy, rebounded by Max Kennedy. Kennedy passes it over to Berkdahl. Berkdahl goes up for the three. It's also good. And that's going to make the Vikings pull ahead in this game. Parsons brings the ball up the court, passes it over to Boss. Boss passes it down to Schaefer, who passes it inside to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick goes up. His shot is no good, but Boss rebounds. Attempts to have the shot. The ball's knocked out of his hands, and they're going to call a foul. Berkdahl brings the ball up the court. Passes it inside to Brown. Brown goes up. Passes it over to Boss, inbounds to Parsons. Parsons throws it over to Schaefer. Schaefer up to Parsons, over to Bowen. Bowen's attempted pass to Boss is no good. Stolen by Peel. However, Peel's shot is blocked by Boss. Number 11, Berkdahl inbounds it for the Vikings. Throws it inside to Brown. Brown attempts to shoot. Is blocked the first time by Kirkpatrick. Takes a step back, and that shot is successful. Boss inbounds it to Parsons. Parsons drives it up the court. Back at the top, over to Parsons. Over to Patrick. Patrick for the inside look to Boss. Boss attempts to shoot, and he is fouled. We're going to call that foul on number 15.
Schultz hits the first foul for the Vikings of the night.
Boss goes up. His second free throw is no good. Parsons passes it inside to Bowen. Bowen out to Parsons. Parsons up to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick takes it from the three. His three is good. Berkdahl passes it up to Kennedy. Kennedy passes it down to Brown. Brown goes up. His shot is good as well. Boss inbounds the ball to Parsons. Parsons pushes it up the right side, passes it back to Boss. Boss goes in, drives up, and his shot is good. Berkdahl brings the ball up the court. Over to Peel, who passes it off to Kennedy. Goes around Brown's screen. Brown takes out that open backside right near the basket there and makes a shot. So the Indians are going to call a timeout here.
So far, Brown for the Vikings is their top scorer with 6 points scored so far, and Landon Boss with 4 for the Osage City Indians.
I'm going to say here that this is not the start to the game that the Indians wanted. I don't think. Would you?
I don't think this is the thing they wanted either.
Yeah.
There is only currently one foul, and that's on Schultz for the Vikings.
Back. Schaefer inbounds the ball to Parsons. Parsons back over to Schaefer. Schaefer up to Boss. Passes it out to Kirkpatrick, who takes another three. Oh, it was almost good, but it's not.
Just short.
They're gonna call a foul on Boss, so it'll be the Vikings inbound here.
That's the Osage City Indians' first foul of the night.
Number 11, Berkdahl, brings the ball up the court. He passes it up. 22, Alex Skeet. Kirkpatrick gets the ball, steals the ball, and passes it up to Parsons, who passes it back to Kirkpatrick, who goes in, goes up for a shot, and he's fouled.
That foul was called on Alex Skeet for the Vikings.
Kirkpatrick's first free throw is good. And his second free throw is good as well. Number 11, Berkdahl brings the ball up the court, passes it over to number 1, Rowan, who passes it down to Skeet, who jumps up to get that ball. In an attempt to block the shot, they're going to call a foul on Boss. Number 1, Rowan with the ball at the top of the key to pass it off to 2, Peel. Peel passes it up to Schultz. Schultz attempts to pass it over back to Peel. It's knocked away by Schaefer, but he recovers it. Number 11, Berkdahl with the ball, passes it over to number 15, Schultz. Pass it off to Skeet, and I believe that was Skeet, right, that shot the ball?
I believe so, yes.
Schaefer attempts to throw the ball over to Kirkpatrick, and it's no good. Peel goes in, Berkdahl goes up for the shot, and then Schaefer goes to block his shot, and he fouls him, so we're going to call, it's going to be a foul. Schaefer's first foul.
It's going to tie up the fouls again with both teams having 2.
Berkdahl's first first free throw is good. We got a lot of substitutions here. Kirkpatrick and Bowen and Parsons coming out, being replaced by 50 Williams, 5 Parsons, and 15 Davies. Berkdahl's free throw is no good. Rebounded by Williams, who passes it off to Parsons, who passes it off to Boss. Boss gets a successful 3. Berkdahl at the top. .22 Skeet attempts to go up, his shot's no good. Boss pushes it up the court with the rebound. Attempts to go in, passes it out to Schaefer. Schaefer goes up, his shot's no good. Number 1 passes it off to 11, Berkdahl. Berkdahl passes it up to 1. 1 shoots. 1 Skeet shoots, no good. 11, Berkdahl shoots from the top of the key. That's a good shot. Parsons over to Boss. Boss goes up. Shot is good. Berkdahl pushes the ball up the court. Passes it over to Skeet. Skeet looks inside to passes it over to Rowan, who passes it inside to Skeet. Skeet recovers the ball. Berkdahl gets it, attempts to throw it down to number 3, Kennedy. No good. And the Vikings call a timeout.
Just a minute 43 left in the first quarter.
And it has been an exciting quarter.
Yes. Each team only has 2 fouls. They're doing pretty well. Once again, the fouls are spread out. No one's having a problem yet. Landon Boss for the OC City Indians is leading in points scored with 9. And 11 and 44 are tied with 6 for the Vikings.
Well, thank you, Allie. Those are... Is Landon Boss the Indians' top scorer?
Yes.
I thought maybe Kirkpatrick would come close, but he only has 2 threes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Number 1, Rowan passes it inside to Peel. Over to Kennedy, who passes it back inside to Rowan. Rowan goes up. No good, and Voss gets the rebound. He passes it up the court to Schaefer, who passes it back up to the top of the key to Davies. Over to Parsons. Parsons goes up for that 3. Misses everything. Number 1, Rowan brings the ball up the court this time. Passes it down to Max Kennedy, who looks inside to Skeet. And that is a good shot. Parsons trips and falls, but I do let them keep the ball, and Boss passes it up, but the ball is stolen away by Peel. Peel brings the ball up the court, and number 1, Rowan stands at the top, passes it up to Luke Brown, who passes it inside, trips, and they call a travel. All right, for the Indians, we've got King Kirkpatrick coming in for Boss. And number 15, Nicholas Schultz back in. And then Cooper Parsons will replace his brother Kaysen for the Indians. Kirkpatrick inbounds the ball this time to Parsons. He passes the ball up the court. And he passes it. Attempts to pass it inside to Caden, but the ball is out of control. And Connor Peel for the Vikings recovers it, brings the ball up the court, passes it over to number 1, Rowan. Rowan passes it off to number 3, Kennedy. Kennedy looks down low to Brown. Brown goes up, and Kirkpatrick recovers the ball on a breakaway layup. His shot's no good, but Davies gets the rebound, puts it back up, and the putback is good. And that'll be the end of the first quarter for the Indians.
Quite an eventful first quarter, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I for sure would say that. You know, I don't want to say that records ever has anything to do with it, because oftentimes, like, you know, those can't be reliable, but just looking at the 2 records, like I said earlier, the Vikings coming in with this 1-5 and the Indians coming in 4-1, I would dare to assume that this is not the kind of game that the Indians expected the Vikings to bring. So that's honestly quite a surprise to them.
I don't think anyone really expected this.
So we'll see how the Indians come out in the second quarter. The Vikings definitely brought a good match for the Indians today.
Absolutely, they're going to have to work hard for this one. Each team still has 2 fouls. No one's having trouble so far. Things pretty spread out.
All right, the Vikings have the ball for this the beginning of the second quarter. Rowan inbounds it to number 11. Passes it off to 3, Kennedy. Kennedy passes it back to Rowan. Rowan goes up for that shot, and that shot is good. Parsons drives the ball up the court. Passes it over to Schaefer, but there's just too much on it, and Schaefer loses the ball. Berkdahl goes down, attempts to make a shot, but Rowan gets... Both Rowan and Parsons go for the free throw, so they're going to call a jump ball. Parsons comes in for Schaefer. Boss inbounds the ball to Parsons. And Parsons drives the ball up the court. Parsons over to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick over to Bowen. And Bowen over to Boss. And Boss up to Parsons. Parsons passes it out to Boss. And Boss goes up and scores. Number 11, Berkdahl drives it up the court. Passes it over to Kennedy. Kennedy attempts to drive the ball over, but they're going to call it defensive foul there on Parsons. So number 11, Berkdahl is going to inbound it to number 2, Peel.
It's going to be Kason Parsons' second foul in a row.
I think he was trying to give him a hug.
It looked like it.
We're going to call that foul on Connor Peel. Offensive foul there. Boss inbounds the ball to Parsons. Parsons brings the ball up the court. Kirkpatrick goes up. His shot is good. Looks like number 22, Skeet. Looks like he's okay. Berkdahl brings the ball up the court, passes it off to Kennedy, who passes it across court to Rowan, gets the ball stolen away. Kirkpatrick brings the ball up, passes it down low to Parsons. His shot is no good, and it's rebounded by Rowan. 11, Berkdahl pulls up at the top of the key. And they're going to call, do they call it a travel or a foul?
They called a travel. It looked like
There's a
no
travel.
fouls outed.
Thank you. Boss inbounds the ball to Parsons. Parsons drives the ball up the court. And they're going to call a foul there on Kirkpatrick's shot on number 44, Brown.
It's going to be Brown's first foul of the night.
Kirkpatrick goes up for the shot. His first free throw is good. His second free throw is good as well. Number 11 takes number 1, Ethan Rowan for the Vikings takes that back door wide open to the and makes the layup. Parsons over to Boss. Boss inside to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick goes up. His shot is good. And it's a tie ball game. Number 11, Luke Bergdahl, brings the ball up the court for the Vikings. He shoots. He scores. Over to Bowen in the corner. Attempting to throw it to the Indians, number 3, Cooper Parsons. Max Kennedy, the Vikings, number 3, ends up taking that pass away. Number 22, Schaefer, back in the game. Parsons, number 5, is pulled out. So number 3, Max Kennedy to inbound the ball here to Luke Bergdahl. Rowan passes the ball to number 2, Peel. Peel goes to Bergdahl. And they call a travel on Bergdahl. Number 3, Parsons, brings the ball up the court. Pass it to Boss. Boss passes it down below to Brown. Brown's no. Brown passes it off to Bergdahl. Bergdahl brings the ball up the court. He passes it over to number 1, Rowan, who passes it down to Peel. Kirkpatrick with the throws it all the way up the court to Boss, who makes a good shot. Once again, tying the ball again. Bergdahl brings the ball back up the court for the Vikings. Rowan drives down, attempts to pass it to Brown, but Kirkpatrick takes that pass away, passes it over to Schaefer. Schaefer shoots for the Indians' first lead of the game. Vikings timeout.
Just a few minutes ago, Kirkpatrick pulled ahead of Boss by 1. Boss's recent score pulled him back in front for the Indians' top scorer with 11 points. Number 11, Bergdahl, is in the lead with 8 points scored for the Vikings.
All right, well, that's definitely not something you see very often, is Caden pulling ahead of Landon there. But definitely, we'll take it, you know, as long as it's the Indians. Yep.
There's 3 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first half.
And we are back out on the court here. Number 11 passes it in. Parsons takes that pass away, attempts to go up. His shot is blocked by number 3, Max Kennedy, but he, unfortunately, when he went to pass, took the ball with him, so it's going to be the Indians' ball. Number 3, Parsons. Brings it up to top, he passes it into Bowen. Bowen passes it down to Kirkpatrick. Patrick goes up, and he makes that shot.
That's going to bring him back to the lead for top scorer, with 12 points scored so far.
Kirkpatrick drives the ball up and passes it. No good. Attempts to go to the shot. It spins out. Berkdahl inbounds the ball and brings it up the court. Passes it off to Peel. Peel passes it off to Schultz. Number 1, Rowan back in the game, and he's subbing in for Berkdahl. Called that foul on number 3, Parsons.
That's Parsons' second foul of the night.
Number 1, Rowan passes it into 3, Kennedy. Rowan takes the shot, it bounces off the iron. Number 22, Schaefer goes up to Cooper Parsons. Parsons throws it over to Caden. Kirkpatrick takes the shot from the top of the key, and that's another 3 for Kirkpatrick.
That's going to bring him to 15 points scored this total game.
He's having a great shot, a great night, all in all. Passes it up to the top of the ball. Top to Rowan. Oh. Bowen gets the ball knocked away. And they called that foul on number 10. Bowen. I believe that's only his first, though, isn't it?
That's Bowen's first foul of the night, yes.
Number 22, Skeet, subbing in for Brown here in the Vikings. Kennedy at the line here. He shoots. No good. Kirkpatrick gets the rebound, passes it up to Bowen. Bowen passes it over to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick over to Schaefer. Schaefer up. Down to Boss. Boss scores. Foul was called on number 15, Schultz. That's his second. And the free throw is good. It's going to bring the Indians' lead to 10. Rowan has the ball. He goes up for a shot. His shot is blocked. And it'll be the Indians' ball.
Landon Boss has managed to get just 1 point behind Kirkpatrick again for top scorer.
Boss about to inbound the ball.
Rowan for the Vikings also just got his first foul of the night.
Schaefer passes it off to Parsons. Rebound by Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick puts the ball back up, and that shot is good. You know, I believe it was once mentioned on this shot here. Oh.
Just 3 seconds less than a minute left on the clock.
All right, then we're back here. Number 1 inbounds the ball to number 3, Max Kennedy. Rowan attempts to pass the ball over to Skeet, but it's taken away by Boss. Boss attempts to go up. His shot is no good. And number 3, Kennedy brings the ball back up the court. Kennedy takes a shot, misses, bounces right off the back of the iron. Indians ball.
Right now, the Indians have 7 fouls. Also, Vikings just got their 7th as well.
And that foul was called on Nicholas Schultz.
That'll be Schultz's 3rd foul of the night.
So he's going to be back on the bench, and Berkdahl is back in. Parsons goes up. His first free throw is good. Parsons' second free throw is good as well. Number 1, Rowan gets the rebound, and Berkdahl brings the ball up. Number 22, Skeet goes up. He's fouled.
That's Schaefer's 2nd foul of the night. Just 16 seconds left on the clock.
Number 22 pulls his free throw is no good. And number 3, Cooper Parsons brings the ball up the court for the Indians. We're gonna try and get this last shot here. And Boss goes through. Kirkpatrick goes up, and his 3 is good.
At the end of the first half, the score is 44-27 with Indians in the lead. Osage City Indians have 8 fouls, whilst the Vikings have 7. Your top scorer is Caden Kirkpatrick with 20 points scored for the Osage City Indians, and Berkdahl with 8 for the Vikings.
All right, it's been a great game so far, and we will soon know the culmination of it. But right now, this will be the dancers.
There's one like I usually plug into up here.
There's nothing on the side now. That's all switches.
All right, everyone. All right, everyone, and we're back. So, number 15 inbounds the ball to Bergdahl for the Vikings. He passes it over to Brown. Brown to Peel. Peel passes it down to Bergdahl. Bergdahl over to Schultz. Schultz goes up. No good. Parsons drives the ball up the court. Passes it over to Kirkpatrick. Patrick pulls up at the top of the key. His shot is unsuccessful, but as is the putback by Boss. Schultz takes the shot for the Vikings. He is unsuccessful as well. Parsons drives the ball back up the court. Passes it off to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick to Schaefer. Kirkpatrick goes up. His shot is no good as well, but Boss's is successful.
All right.
And we're back. Sorry, we were having some audio issues there, but we are back.
Number 33, Landon Boss, just got his second foul.
Bergdahl brings the ball up the court, passes it over to number 15, Schultz. Ball goes out of bounds. And for Schultz, so it'll be the Indians' ball here.
We'll have to see if any either team gets really pumped up like they have in the past couple games.
Yeah, definitely. We saw it happen in the girls' game anyways. All right, Boss inbounds the ball here to Parsons. Kennedy knocks it away. So it will still be the Indians' ball. This time, Boss gets it into Parsons. Parsons called a foul.
That's going to be on Peel for the Vikings. That's going to be the Vikings' second foul of this quarter.
Boss passes it over to Schaefer. Schaefer back to Kirkpatrick. Schaefer passes it to Boss. Kirkpatrick over to Boss. Bowen goes up. Shot's no good, but I believe they called a foul.
That
foul is going to be on Landon Boss. That's his 3rd foul of the night.
Peel inbounds. I'm sorry, Kennedy inbounds the ball to Rowan. Another foul on number 22 for the Vikings, Skeet. Number 1, Ethan Rowan passes it in. Boss takes the ball off the court. Ooh, almost loses it there for a second. He gets it back though. Brecken passes it to Schaefer. Schaefer down to Bowen. Bowen up to Kirkpatrick. He thinks about it, doesn't take it though. Parsons down in the low corner over there. Parsons intends for Brecken. Bowen, but it just misses him.
Just a little too hard to the right.
Yeah. It would have been a great pass if Bowen had been standing there. But that's okay. Number 3, Kennedy passes it in to number 1, Rowan. Over to Brown, who passes it down to the corner to Kennedy. It goes off the top of the glass. Boss gets the rebound, pushes it up the court, attending for number 10, Bowen, but the ball ends up going out of bounds. So that's going to be an Indian timeout. How are the personal points looking, Allie?
So far for the Indians, Kirkpatrick is still in the lead with 20 points scored. And for the Vikings, Berkdahl is still in the lead with 8.
You know, it's been said on this stream before that, you know, Caden, since Boss and Kirkpatrick are the 2 points, they work together pretty well. And I believe the term Batman and Robin was used together, but I don't know if that's applicable anymore because Caden is kind of pulled ahead of Landon. So I think we need to find them some new nicknames.
I think it would be favorable, yes.
I think it'd be fair. It's only fair.
It's only fair.
Yeah. They are equals.
We'll have to see if Landon Boss somehow pulls ahead.
Yes.
Right now, there's a 4-point difference.
All right, well, we'll keep a careful eye on that one just to see how these 2 top scorers score for the Indians.
I'll keep you updated.
Thank you. All right, number 1 for the Vikings, Rowan passing, bringing it up the court. He intends to pass it off to number 13, Brockus. Parsons knocks the ball out of Brockus' hands, and they call it a jump ball. Indians possession. Boss inbounds to Parsons. Parsons drives the ball up the court. Parsons passes it over to Boss. Boss to Parsons. Parsons passes it over to Boss. Boss to Lohmeyer. We do have number 12, Noah Lohmeyer, back in the game, the varsity game here. Kirkpatrick takes a shot from the top of the key. Another 3. Number 1, Rowan passes it over to number 13, Brockus, and the ball gets stuck.
Lead between Boss and Kirkpatrick has grown. It's now at 7. And 12. Noah Lohmeyer
got his first foul.
And number 22, Alex Skeet, shooting the ball at the free throw line. His second free throw is good. Boss passes it over to Parsons. Parsons passes it to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick goes up. This time he's no good, but the poke back by Boss, also no good. But he tries again, and that one is good. Rowan brings the ball up the court, passes it off to Kennedy. Number 1, Rowan takes a shot from the three-point line. It's no good. Number 3, Kennedy takes it down below. He passes it off to Brown. They're going to call another jump ball. This is going to be the Vikings. It was between Boss and Brown. This will be Vikings possession. Vikings with some subs here. We got Berkdahl and Peel back in for Rowan and Brown. Also for the Indians, number 50, Williams in for Boss. Number 2, Peel in the corner. Passes it over to Berkdahl. On-court collision here between Berkdahl and Noah Lohmeyer. But they called the foul on Lohmeyer.
That's Lohmeyer's second foul of the night.
Number 50, Williams, foul's called on him as well. Number 2, Peel shoots. His first free throw is no good. We can't count the second free throw though. Parsons brings the ball up the court. Lohmeyer passes it back to Parsons. Lohmeyer passes it to Williams. Williams passes it to the other Parsons. Lohmeyer over to Parsons. Parsons to Lohmeyer. And number 13, Baracus takes that ball up the court. And the 3 from Kennedy is good. Parsons brings the ball up the court, down to Williams. Williams takes the shot, his off the glass. It's going to be a foul on 50. It's going to be Williams' second.
Second foul of the night. The fouls are currently 7-2 in this quarter. Just a minute and 37 left.
It's going to put Kennedy at the line. Kennedy shoots, scores. Williams recovers. Parsons drives the ball up the court. Lohmeyer at the top. Lohmeyer to Parsons. And travel.
Both teams seem to be doing pretty well for themselves.
Just over a minute here left in the quarter. Berkdahl brings the ball up. He passes it over to Kennedy. Kennedy reverses it. Kennedy over to Berkdahl. Peel's shot is successful. Indians are going to do some one shot here. Try and get this 30 seconds off the clock. Lohmeyer passes it over to Parsons. Parsons is going to drive the ball up the court, in the backcourt. He drives it up. Going to Boss. Boss goes in, goes down to Williams for that last shot at the quarter, and that was a great assist from Boss and a great finish there for Williams.
Absolutely. Just 1 quarter left. Our current top scorer is Kirkpatrick with 23 points. And Berkdahl with 8. The Vikings. Absolutely stellar game going on so far.
Yeah, the Vikings kind of started to catch up there a little bit. All in all, it's been a really good game from both these teams. They've both, it's not a blowout.
Absolutely not. Both teams are trying their hardest.
Yeah, all in all, I think this has been a great game, and I'm excited to see where we go from here. But we will all know that in the last quarter.
Let's see if the Indians can keep their lead on the Vikings.
And we are back. Foul is called on Peel. That's his 4th. And Boss is going to be at the free throw line.
Peel's just having a tough time tonight. Especially in the second quarter.
Yes. And both Boss's free throws are good. Berkdahl brings the ball up the court over to Kennedy. Kennedy passes it to Rowan.
shoots and scores. Number 3, Parsons brings the ball up the court, passes it to Boss. Boss to Schaefer. Schaefer goes across the court to Bowen. Back to Schaefer and over to Kirkpatrick. Down to Boss. Boss goes up. Shot's no good. His putback also unsuccessful. He tries one more time, but they're going to call a foul. On 11, Berkdahl, his first. Everybody's doing relatively well. Boss's free throw is good. Peel drives the ball up the court. Passes it off to Berkdahl. Berkdahl goes up. No good. The ball is bounced off of Kirkpatrick. Over to Boss and Schaefer. Schaefer passes it over to Bowen. Bowen goes down. Pass it to Boss. Boss goes up. His shots are unsuccessful. And they're going to call a foul on 11. Berkdahl. It's going to be his second foul in a row. Boss goes up. His shot bounces off the iron. Berkdahl passes the ball into Kennedy. Berkdahl goes up, or brings the ball up the court. Schaefer passes it over to Parsons. Parsons to Boss. Or Parsons to Bowen to Boss. Schaefer takes the shot. It's no good. Rowan gets the rebound. Peel passes the ball up to Berkdahl, who passes it to number 2 goes up. He's fouled by Boss. This will be Bowen's second foul of the night. Or Bowen. No. My bad. I said Boss. Number 2 shoots. His free throw is good, and that is Peel. Vikings got some subs here. Schultz and Skeet. Kirkpatrick goes up. He misses. Number 3. Kennedy drives the ball up the court. He shoots. Unsuccessful. Number 2, Peel puts the ball back up, and that shot is good. And the Indians are going to call a timeout.
Feels like the game has definitely sped up its pace. With just 5 minutes and 16 seconds left.
Yeah. No, I think this game could be, honestly, I think it's in both teams' reaches, but the Vikings could definitely take this.
sounds really good tonight.
It really does.
All right, we are back. Parsons brings the ball up the court. Kirkpatrick passes it off to Schaefer. Schaefer over to Bowen. Boss puts the ball up. He's no good. The shot's no good. Schultz passes the ball. It kind of rolls across the court until it's picked up by Berkdahl, who takes the shot successfully. Parsons passes it off to number 33, Boss. And Boss goes to Schaefer. Schaefer to Parsons, and then to Bowen. Ball is stolen by number 1, Rowan. He passes it off to Skeet, who passes it down to Fracas. Parsons brings the ball up the court. He passes it over to Schaefer. Schaefer passes it down to Boss. Foul was called on Schaefer.
That was called on Skeet for the Vikings. That's going to be Skeet's second foul of the night.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. The duplicate numbers always throw me off.
Yeah. If I can't tell, I'll look up at the scoreboard and see it, watch it update.
Yeah. Good idea. All right, Boss's second free throw is good. Number 11, Luke Berkdahl brings the ball up the court. He passes it over to his teammate Max Kennedy, who attempts to pass it down to number 1, Rowan. The ball is stolen by 3, Parsons. Parsons drives the ball up the court. He passes it over to Boss, who passes it down to Bowen. No good. Calling a foul on number 11.
Berkdahl, it'll be his third foul of the night.
Boss back at the line. He shoots. He scores. His first free throw is good.
If he can make his second, he'll overturn Parsons for point leader.
And his second free throw is good.
Landon Boss is now your leader in most points scored for this game so far with 24 points.
Number 11. Ball is stolen by number 33, Boss. Boss rebounded. Boss goes up. That shot is good. Foul is called as well. It's called on Schultz. That's his 4th foul for the Vikings. Vikings now with Peel back out there and Brown.
Fouls are all tied up. Each team having 8.
Boss scores. Number 1 passes it over to Kennedy. And Baracus. Passes it over to Brown.
This is,
Sorry, go ahead.
this is Schaefer's 4th foul of the night. Currently on the Indians team, he's the only one with 4 fouls, looks like.
Brown's first free throw is unsuccessful. For the Indians, we've got Boss and coming out as well as Schaefer, and Williams and Lohmeyer replacing them. Brown's second free throw is successful. Kirkpatrick inbounds it to Parsons. Parsons passes it over to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick back to Parsons. He passes it to William. He passes it to Davies. They're calling a foul on 50. Williams, his third.
This last quarter has been the most point-heavy quarter I've seen for the boys so far.
Definitely in this game. Rowan pulls up at the top of the key. His shot's no good. Davies attempts to throw the ball back in, but all his other teammates are facing the other way. So Kennedy makes that shot. Parsons now to drive the ball up the court with just under 2 minutes left here in the quarter. Davies over to Lohmeyer. Parsons passes it off to Williams. He passes it off to Davies. Davies goes in. Davies' shot is no good. After 3 putbacks, Peel finally gets a shot up for the Vikings. Parsons drives the ball up the court. He bounces. I don't really know what happened there, but they're going to call it backcourt. I think it bounced off somebody's shoe.
Looked like it.
And the Indians have now put number 4, Keaton Curley, in for Caden Kirkpatrick. Number 2, Peel's shot is good. Just under 1 minute left here in the game. Parsons is trapped. He passes it off to Davies to get it up the court. He passes it off to Lohmeyer. Lohmeyer shoots. Scores. He shoots and scores again. Both his free throws are good. Number 3, Kennedy takes the shot. It's no good. Number 13, Baracus goes up again. That shot is successful. We've got just at 25 seconds here left in the game. Parsons to bring the ball up the court, inbounded by Davies. He passes it off to Keaton, who goes in.
for a successful three there from Keaton Curley.